In this video, we will be studying about the measures to remove poverty. See, the first measure is that combating poverty, which means you are overcoming the poverty by accelerating the pace of economic growth. See, I've told you that as the country will grow, as there will be the economic growth in the country, there will be less poverty as more and more people will be employed. So, the pace of growth is accelerated, new opportunities of employment are generated, more and more workers will find employment in farms and factories. So, greater the employment, more inclusive would be the growth process. See, we should avoid jobless growth, which means if we are measuring the GDP, if we are measuring the growth, we should not measure according to the technology driven. Rather than we should have the employment driven growth, which means we are growing and we are giving employment to the needy people. So, in this way, you will be able to combat the poverty through the pace of growth, economic growth. Combating inequality of income through fiscal and legislative measures. See, the government is taking measures in order to combat the poverty. The fiscal measures means they should have the policy of progressive tax, which means rich people should pay more tax, whereas poor people should be exempted from the tax paying. So, tax is the measure through which the government is trying to equalize the income. Rich, higher tax, whereas poor people, tax exempted. Also, subsidies should be provided to the poor in order to purchase the goods. So, subsidies can be offered on items like coarse cloth and coarse grains. Capital grants may be offered to the poor for the construction of their houses. So, all these fiscal measures can help to combat poverty from India. The next is your legislative measure in this. Legislative measure means you are making some laws in according to in favor of the poor. That is the minimum wage rate. For example, rupees 500 is fixed as the minimum wage rate for the people, that you cannot appoint a worker below rupees 500 per day. So, minimum wage rate act makes it mandatory for the employees to offer the minimum wages to the employees. Legislative measures also includes the price floor. Price floor means the government has set up the minimum prices for the purchase of the farm output. Means the minimum support price. The government will buy the farm product of the farmer at some minimum wage and not below that minimum support price. Also, the measures are taken, also the laws are being made for the education and the health facilities for the poor section of the society to remove poverty. The third comes combating poverty through population control, which means that the larger population also is the reason of the poverty in India, because poor people have large family size, so it is very difficult to feed the large family, so the poor person become more poorer, and there is a strong correlation between family size and poverty. Right. So control of population would mean reduction in the size of labor force. Thus, no person will be left unemployed, and this would increase the income and thus reducing the poverty from the country. So every now and then the measures are taken. The people are being informed to have control over the births and to have control over the population. Fourth is other measures enhancing quality of life of the poor. These measures are development of agriculture. The government is paying full attention in order to increase the agriculture in India again, with the view opinion that if the agriculture will be increased in India, more people will be employed in farming. Farming will give them the earnings, so ultimately reducing the ultimately reducing the poverty. Stability in the price level. Price stability is an essential prerequisite of poverty elevation. If price continues to rise, if there is inflation and it is continuously, we are suffering from inflation, so there will be a rise in the general price. So measures are being taken to stabilize the price level, at least for those goods which are the necessity goods, and there should be a stability in the price level. Eradication of unemployment. See, special measures are being taken by the government to eradicate unemployment, underemployment, and disguised unemployment. As more and more industries and more construction activities and infrastructure activities are taken into process by the government, so more and more workers will be employed, and ultimately it will reduce the poverty because they will be able to earn some income out of it. Labor intensive techniques of production. See, if I talk about the small scale industries, so small scale industries were actually set up. The main reason for the setting up of the small scale industries was to engage more and more population and to employ more and more workers into the industries, and the main motive of the small scale industries were labor employment. So labor intensive techniques of production are adopted in order to reduce the level of poverty in India. Provision for minimum needs of the poor. See, government hospitals are being opened where they are treated for free. Person having the below poverty line card are treated for free. So the government is providing free health facilities. Even government schools are being opened in keeping in mind the poor section of the society, those who cannot pay very much for their education. The government schools are being opened where they have to pay very least amount and they can get the education facility. Moreover, the ration shops are being opened to provide the food grains. So minimum rates of the poor are being satisfied by the government and the measures are being taken. Special focus on backward regions. See, the backward regions like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, government Nagaland. So government is focusing more on these regions in order to eliminate the poverty. Opportunities for self-employment. There are many regional rural banks, NABARD, and cooperative societies are being opened, which provide the loan to the poor society as at a very minimum rate of interest, so that they could start up their own business. They could indulge themselves in their own business. That is called as self-employment. So various ITIs are being formed by the government, which gives the training of electrician, plumbing, etc. So that the poor people can go there and take the training and become the self-employed persons. Effective public distribution system. PDS. See, what is public distribution system? The government has opened small ration shops in every region so that poor people can come and they will get the grains at a very subsidized rate, like the kerosene oil or the wheat, rice. If the wheat you are getting at rupees 20 per kg, these people will get either at 2 rupees or 3 rupees per kg. So this is the public distribution system. So food, the supply of food grains and other essentials of life to the below poverty line population of the country is made through this public distribution system. So was all about the measures to eliminate poverty. I hope you like our video. Please download our Scholars Learning app and enjoy the learning experience with us.